Okay, here we are. Pie for life or more years. Collingwood is prepared to hand Braden Maynard a 4-year deal on excellent money, but at this stage is balking at offering the Premiership defender a 5-year deal, as reported by Herald Sun this just in. For me, what's the difference between a 4 or 5-year contract if you are the panel in the Collingwood helm deciding upon whether to offer the 4 or 5 years? It's Bruzzy Maynard. Like, if there's anyone you throw an extra year onto a contract for what they've done for the club, for the availability that he's provided, for the spirit that he brings to the club beyond the game day into training. He's a leader of the club. Like, maybe you offer him the 4. Can you offer him 4 years and a contract clause to add an extra year if he's playing X amount of games in that final 4th year? Maybe that's something that could come into conversation. However, the Roos have their say here. The Roos confirmed on Sunday they had some interest in a tough backline player like Maynard, but football boss Todd Viney said they had not offered him a 6-year deal yet. So Collingwood are currently offering a 4-year deal on excellent money. He wants 5, but North are looking at potentially putting forth a 6-year deal, and we've been told, or we've heard, that could fall within the range or the realms of $1 million at some point throughout that career. A 4-year deal would see him playing on in those terms until 32, given he turns 29 in September, and he could conceivably strike another deal after the contract expires. What he has to weigh up is how much remaining a one-club pie will be worth to him across his entire life, given the sponsorship and marketing opportunities that come with remaining affiliated with the AFL Power Club. This is probably something we haven't spoken about enough. I don't think I've even mentioned it once. The fact that you also obviously have to also consider the players' values and what they value and what their in their ladder of life is. So if you remain at Collingwood at 4 or 5 years versus going to North for 6, you do lose out on the marketing opportunities that you get as a Collingwood player. So do you factor that in if you're Braden Maynard and his player management group? Like, the fact that if you remain at Collingwood, yeah, you might get a lesser contract. Yeah, it might be a year short of what you're hoping for. How much are you losing out if you leave Collingwood and give up those marketing opportunities, brand ambassador roles, and little gigs that you get through social media for just purely being a Collingwood player? He certainly wouldn't get that at North Melbourne. So that's something that will have to come into conversation. But at the end of the day, if Braden Maynard is black and white about this and he just wants a longer contract and maybe he wants to play at the club that his brother works at and he wants to get a fresh experience at another club, be a part of a rebuild in a club a team that is young and has a heap of talent, I'm sure the decision surrounding Luke Davies-Uniacke will also play a big role in whether Bruzzy goes there. Like, if you're Bruzzy Maynard, would you go there if LDU decides to leave? Because if your goal is to sort of be a part of the come up with North Melbourne, you would have to consider, or you'd have to think that Braden Maynard is looking at that picture with Luke Davies-Uniacke in there. But if he's extracted from that situation, does that make your ideal play going to North Melbourne? Does that change that? Harry Leonard said, it's good that there are so many players being talked about at the moment. Matt Rowell, Harley Reid, Zach Butters, Allen, all massive names. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of the merry-go-round in all sports when it comes to acquiring certain players and these conversations. I mean, it's always going to be part of it. What I've learned over the journey of being on YouTube is in the off season, there's a period of time where it's just purely trade, draft, and free agency, and then there's this hunger for preseason content, and then in season, especially early on, when like the lay of the land hasn't been fully formulated and you don't know where your club is at necessarily, there's more. It's funny. There's more interest about the future rather than the present, and maybe that's just that's something that extends beyond like sport and the AFL world and all this sort of talk. We're always, we're never like fully in the now without getting philosophical. We're never fully in the now. We're always looking ahead, and we want something that's just out of reach. And I think that exists in the world of the AFL, where we're always looking for, all right, well, this is our list now. This is where we're at. We're 2-1, and we're chasing a premiership now, but we're already on the 1st of April at 6:46 p.m. We're already chewing the fat on who might be a part of Collingwood's makeup in the next few years.